The journey of the Sigma male begins not with fanfare of ambition, but with a quiet, unspoken realization that echoes in the hollow spaces of a world that fails to provide. It is a profound understanding that when external systems, be they societal, educational, or familial, withhold the tools, guidance, or validation one seeks, the only viable recourse is to become the sole source of one's own creation. This is a foundational truth, the core axiom upon which the entire Sigma identity is built. He is the archetype of the modern-day sovereign, a man who looks upon the crumbling edifices of promised support and, instead of lamenting their decay, quietly gathers the rubble to construct his own fortress. He does not wait for a savior, for a mentor to anoint him, or for a system to grant him permission. Such waiting is, in his view, a form of spiritual and intellectual surrender. His motivation is not born from a desire to prove his superiority to an audience, but from a deeply ingrained instinct that independence is not merely a virtue, but the purest, most unassailable form of strength. It is a strength that cannot be given, only earned. It cannot be borrowed, only forged in the solitary fires of personal experience. While majority of humanity chases after certified experts, clings to established dogma, or seeks safety within the confines of well-trodden paths, the Sigma male engages in a different pursuit entirely. He becomes a perpetual student of reality itself, learning not from curated curricula, but from the raw, unfiltered data of trial and error. He adapts not because he is told to, but because the environment demands it. And from this continuous process of learning and adaptation, he begins to build his own unique methodologies, his own personal systems of operation that are tailored not to abstract principles, but to the gritty, practical realities of his own existence. This is the genesis of his famed status as a jack of all trades. It is not a scattered, dilettantish dabbling, but a strategic, deliberate accumulation of competencies. He is the man who can transition seamlessly from the concrete world of physical repair to the abstract realm of strategic thought, from the emotional intelligence required to navigate complex social dynamics to the logical rigor needed to solve a technical problem. One day, he is the only one who can diagnose and fix a critical failure in a piece of machinery, and the next, he is engrossed in mastering a new language or philosophical concept that, to the outside observer, seems unrelated, yet to him, fits perfectly into an ever-expanding, interconnected vision of how the world works. 1. The crucible of necessity, learning as a mandate for survival. The Sigma male's relationship with knowledge is fundamentally different from the casual seeker's. For him, learning is not a leisurely activity driven by fleeting curiosity or desire to appear cultured in conversation. It is a non-negotiable imperative, a direct response to the stark realities of a world that has never offered him a free pass. Life, in his experience, has not been a gentle teacher offering comfort and hand-holding guidance. It has been a rigorous, often harsh, instructor that demands payment in the currency of effort and understanding. Consequently, he never expects comfort to be handed to him. While others linger at the starting line, anxiously awaiting a guide, a set of instructions, or a sign of approval, the Sigma is already knee-deep in the messy, complex process of figuring things out through direct engagement. His approach can be perfectly encapsulated in a single, powerful distinction. He does not waste time searching for manual. He becomes a manual through lived experience. His motivation is entirely divorced from a need for external validation. It does not spring from a desire to impress a peer, win the approval of superior, or build a reputation. The engine that drives him is a potent fusion of survival instinct, a profound sense of personal pride, and a deep, non-negotiable self-respect that viscerally recoils at the thought of begging for help. This is not a stubborn refusal born of arrogance, but a principled stance born of necessity. You see, when the average person encounters an obstacle, a broken appliance, a complex problem at work, an emotional dilemma, their first reflex is often to reach for a phone, a textbook, or another person. It is an outward reach, a delegation of the problem-solving responsibility. The Sigma male, in stark contrast, turns inward. He sits with the problem in silence, like a meditative practice. He observes it, prods it, deconstructs it, and lives with discomfort until layer by layer it unfolds its secrets to him. It is in these silent, solitary moments of struggle that his unique form of genius is cultivated. It grows not in the noisy classrooms of collective learning, but in the quiet laboratories of his own mind. 2. The synaptic web, weaving unrelated skills into rare insight. The cognitive processes of the Sigma male defy conventional educational models, where most individuals are conditioned to acquire knowledge in straight linear paths, specializing in one subject, focusing on one career track, mastering one discipline. The Sigma's mind operates in a dynamic, multidimensional space. It is a mind that instinctively weaves connections between domains that, on the surface, appear to have no logical correlation. He is the intellectual alchemist who might fuse the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy with the cutthroat dynamics of modern digital marketing, or extract principles from the complex interplay of biological ecosystems and apply them to the structure of a robust business model or creative project. The result of this cognitive fusion is a form of thinking that is inherently fresh, unpredictable, and virtually impossible to replicate, as it is born from a unique constellation of his personal experiences and interests. What makes this mental approach so potent is its refusal to be confined by artificial disciplinary boundaries. His brain is a trespasser in the fields of specialized knowledge, gleaning insights from each and carrying them over to fertilize others. When he learns a new skill or concept, he does not simply file it away in a mental cabinet labeled with its subject. Instead, he immediately begins a work of integration, asking himself, where does this fit into the bigger picture? What pattern does this reveal that I've seen elsewhere? This constant search for meta-patterns is what allows him to generate ideas that may sound unorthodox or even strange at first, but often possess a prescient quality, being ahead of their time. He is the kind of individual who could study the rise and fall of ancient civilizations and, from that, derive powerful insights into personal habit formation or corporate sustainability. For him, no piece of knowledge ever stands in isolation. Every new skill, every learned fact, every understood principle becomes a new node in an ever-expanding, deeply interconnected web of understanding. This web does not dilute his knowledge. It makes the entire network stronger, more resilient, and more intelligent with every new connection. 3. The fluid self, liberating ability from the prison of identity. A defining characteristic of the Sigma male is his profound resistance to the confinement of a fixed identity. He does not see himself as a static label, a job title, a social role, or a collection of personality traits to be consistently performed. He rejects the notion of this is who I am, and therefore this is all I can do. Instead, he embraces a model of continuous expansion and evolution. His sense of self is fluid, not fixed. If one day he feels the urge to build a piece of furniture with his hands, engaging in physical, tangible creation, and the next day he is drawn to writing a complex piece of software or composing a piece of music, he does so without a moment's hesitation or need for external approval. He is not chasing the mirage of consistency for the sake of others' perceptions. He is chasing the tangible reality of his own evolution. Most individuals allow their identity to become a cage, often constructed from social expectations and their own fears. They cling to a single respectable label. I am an accountant, I am an engineer, I am an artist, and then feel compelled to behave within the narrow confines of that role. They fear being seen as scattered, inconsistent, or unserious if they step outside its boundaries. The Sigma male views this fear as one of the most insidious traps a person can fall into. He understands with great clarity that identity should be a tool that serves growth and freedom, not a warden that controls his potential. He can be a deep, contemplative thinker in one moment and a pragmatic, action-oriented doer in the next. He can transition from fixing a broken carburetor to debating the nuances of existentialist philosophy without experiencing any internal sense of contradiction. To him, each skill is a key that unlocks a new dimension of freedom, while labels are nothing more than chains that limit his range of motion. For the silent cartographer, mapping the invisible systems of power and behavior, the Sigma male moves through the world not as a frantic participant desperate to prove his worth, but as a calm, detached observer of the underlying mechanics. While everyone else is rushing onto the field to play the game, jostling for position, seeking applause, chasing visible rewards, he remains on the periphery, his gaze focused on understanding the rules of the game itself, the design of the field, and the psychology of the other players. He is a cartographer of invisible structures. He has a preternatural ability to detect patterns in human behavior, to identify the loopholes in systems of power, and to decipher the unspoken, often unconscious, rules that govern any given environment. For him, nothing in the social or structural world just happens. Everything is the output of a system, a set of inputs, processes, and feedback loops. His primary objective is to understand that system so thoroughly that he can then choose to either master its existing form or dismantle and rebuild it into something more efficient and aligned with his own purposes. He is a master of reading the subtext of life. He watches how people behave when they believe no one of consequence is watching. He notes the subtle rhythms of conversations, who speaks, who is heard, who retreats into silence. He detects the micro shifts in tone and body language that betray hidden motives and unspoken anxieties. In the complex ecosystems of workplaces, social circles, and even families, he can quickly discern who truly holds influence, which is not always a person with the title, and who is merely performing a role. This is not an activity driven by judgment or a sense of superiority. It is a dispassionate exercise in understanding structure. The Sigma male wants to know what fundamental forces make things move, what social glue holds groups together, and what quiet pressure points, if pressed, can cause a structure to break apart. 5. The pragmatist filter, an instinct for functional usefulness. The intellectual and skill-based pursuits of the Sigma male are governed by a single, relentless filter: utility. He does not learn things for the primary purpose of appearing intelligent, winning arguments, or accumulating cultural capital. Knowledge, for him, is not a decoration to be displayed, but a tool to be used. His mind is structured not like a museum, where information is preserved for its aesthetic or historical value, but like a functional workshop, where every tool, every piece of material, every technique must justify its presence by serving a concrete purpose. Every skill he acquires, every domain of knowledge he explores, every habit he cultivates must earn its keep. If a piece of information does not, in some tangible way, make him sharper, freer, or more capable, he discards it without sentimentality or regret. He is not in the business of collecting random talents like trophies. He is in the business of building an integrated, interoperable system of skills that deliver real-world results. This ruthless pragmatism is a key differentiator between him and the majority. Many people chase knowledge for socially driven reasons: to impress others at a party, to feel intellectually relevant, or to paper over insecurities with a veneer of expertise. The Sigma male's pursuit is purer and more focused. He chases knowledge that solves actual problems. He is practical to his very core. If he dedicates time to studying psychology, it is not to win a theoretical debate, but to better understand the drivers of human behavior, so he can protect his peace, build stronger alliances, and avoid toxic dynamics. If he immerses himself in the principles of finance and economics, it is to secure his independence and make his resources work for him, not to boast about his portfolio. If he learns carpentry, mechanics, or survival skills, it is to ensure he is prepared for the unexpected, to be able to create and repair what he needs without dependence. 6. The alchemy of setbacks. Treating failure as field research. The Sigma male's response to failure is perhaps one of his most defining and powerful attributes. He does not crumble, retreat in shame, or construct elaborate excuses when his efforts fall short. Instead, he engages with failure as a scientist would engage with flawed but informative experiment. To him, a setback is not a personal wound to be hidden from the world, but a field report, a rich, data-dense document sent back from the front lines of experience. When things go wrong, he consciously avoids an emotional quicksand of shame and self-pity. He instead adopts a posture of detached analysis, looking at the failed outcome with a clear, objective mind and systematically deconstructing it. What specific actions led to this result? What assumptions proved incorrect? What variable was unaccounted for? What could be iterated, improved, or done entirely differently in the next attempt? This is a standard operating procedure of his mind, a relentless laboratory where every mistake, no matter how painful, is valued for the unique piece of truth it reveals. The common, conditioned response to failure is to interpret it as definitive proof of one's inadequacy. The Sigma male performs a crucial cognitive reframe. He treats failure as invaluable feedback. He operates on the principle that pain and discomfort, whether emotional or practical, carry critical data, but only for those who are willing to set aside their ego and listen. Every rejection contains information about market fit, or interpersonal dynamics. Every setback reveals a weakness in planning or flaw in execution. Every plan that falls apart provides a real-world stress test of his assumptions, showing him exactly where they break. This data is often more valuable and harder to acquire than the hollow data of an easy success. Instead of the disempowering declaration, "I failed," he adopts the empowering, forward-looking mantra, "Now I understand." This subtle shift in language reflects a monumental shift in mindset, one that accelerates his evolution far beyond his peers. 7. The Human Codex, studying people as a critical craft. While the Sigma male is renowned for his mastery of tangible skills and abstract systems, an equally critical, if not more important, area of his expertise lies in his mastery of human nature. He understands with great clarity that knowing how to manipulate tools, navigate bureaucracies, or process information is ultimately of limited value if one cannot accurately read, understand, and effectively interact with the human beings who create and operate within those systems. Consequently, he studies people with the same focus, intensity, and systematic approach that he applies to any other craft. He is driven to understand the core drivers of human motivation, the deep-seated fears that dictate behavior, and the profound truths that are communicated in silence when words are being used to deceive. For him, psychology is not an academic subject to be studied in a classroom. It is a vital survival skill to be honed in the real world. He approaches communication as a multi-layered phenomenon. When someone speaks to him, he is listening on at least two simultaneous channels, one for the literal meaning of the words, and another, more important channel for the subtext, the emotion, intention, and unspoken need that lies beneath them. He understands in the human social theater, truth is often buried beneath layers of performance, social conditioning, and self-deception. He has learned that what is left unsaid, the pauses, the hesitations, and the shifts in energy often communicates far more than any prepared speech ever could. This highly attuned reception makes him naturally and powerfully intuitive. He can sense the tension in a room the moment he enters it, often before anyone else is consciously aware of it. He can distinguish between authentic, earned confidence, and the brittle bluster of facade. He rarely reacts impulsively in social situations because he has already mapped the emotional and psychological landscape of the interaction, allowing him to choose his responses with strategic precision. This is one of his most significant quiet advantages. 8. The immersion method, learning by direct engagement. The Sigma male possesses a fundamental disdain for deferred action. He does not wait for the perfect conditions to begin a new endeavor. The right teacher, the complete set of resources, the guaranteed path to success. For him, the act of beginning is itself the most critical step in the learning process. While others are stuck in the paralysis by analysis phase, searching for an instructor, a guidebook, or an online course, he takes the most direct route possible. He throws himself headfirst into the experience itself. He learns by total immersion, not by passive instruction. He holds a core belief that the most enduring and powerful lessons are not learned from the safe, theoretical distance of classroom, but are earned in the midst of the storm, through direct contact with the reality of the task. Mistakes, in this paradigm, are not feared. They are welcomed as his most effective educators. Every failure is a stepping stone that reveals a new part of the path. Every setback is a hidden manual written in the language of practical consequence. He understands a truth that evades many. Real, deep understanding cannot be transferred secondhand through theory alone. It must be earned through touch, through trial, and through the tension of not knowing. You cannot learn to swim by watching others from the shore, nor can you learn to lead by reading a book on leadership. The Sigma male understands this at an instinctual level. So he dives into the deep end, trusting that his innate instincts, his capacity for focused attention, and his proven adaptability will guide him to the surface and teach him to swim. This fearless, hands-on approach to learning allows him to achieve a level of mastery in a compressed time frame that often astonishes those who follow more conventional, cautious paths. 9. The environmental antenna, reading the rhythm of any space. A subtle yet profound ability of the Sigma male is his capacity to instantly decode the unique rhythm and energy of any environment he enters. Whether he steps into the frenetic noise of a city, the tense, unspoken politics of a corporate office, the relaxed atmosphere of a social gathering, or the profound silence of a wilderness, He possesses an almost preternatural sensitivity to the ambient vibe. He can feel how the space moves, how its elements connect, and what invisible forces are at play. This is not a mystical gift. It is a highly developed form of situational awareness. He pays acute attention to the subtle energy of a place, the tonal undercurrents of conversations, and the overall tempo of interactions. Within moments of his arrival, he has processed a wealth of subconscious data, allowing him to understand the driving forces of that space. Who truly holds sway, which is often not the most vocal person. What values are genuinely being rewarded, what behaviors are performative, and what truths lie beneath the surface. He is a master of reading the room without needing a translator. If he enters a corporate environment, he can quickly discern the actual power structure, identifying the real decision makers versus those who merely hold impressive titles. If he finds himself in a large crowd, he can sense the collective emotional mood, the anxiety, the excitement, the apathy, before a single explicit statement is made about it. And if he is in a natural setting, he tunes into its quiet, intricate order, the direction of the wind, the quality of the light, the specific sounds and silences that most people filter out as background noise. His senses function like a sophisticated antenna array, perpetually scanning for and picking up on the subtle signals that most people, in their self-absorption, completely overlook. 10. The beginner's mind, the power of embracing ignorance. In a world that often equates knowledge with status and expertise with value, the Sigma male exhibits a rare and powerful trait. He is entirely comfortable, even enthusiastic, about being a beginner. He feels no fear in starting from a position of zero knowledge or skill. In fact, he actively welcomes it. While a great many people avoid new pursuits precisely because it bruises their ego and forces them into a position of perceived incompetence, the Sigma sees this beginner phase as a sacred and necessary doorway to all genuine growth. He knows, as a fundamental law of learning, that every great master was once an awkward novice, and that all significant journeys begin with a series of clumsy, uncertain first steps. For him, not knowing something is not a stain on his character or a sign of weakness. It is a blank canvas of opportunity. This mindset alone provides him with a significant evolutionary advantage over those who are imprisoned by their own pride. His ego is not a fragile object that requires constant protection and validation. It is a servant to his progress. When he steps into a new field or attempts a new skill, he does not waste energy pretending to already understand its complexities. He openly adopts the posture of a student. He listens intently, observes keenly, experiments freely, and allows the messy, hands-on process to shape his understanding. He is not attached to the project of looking impressive in the eyes of others. His entire focus is locked on the tangible goal of becoming capable. This intellectual humility, this lack of ego, paradoxically becomes the engine of his rapid acceleration. Because he is not burdened by the fear of making mistakes, he learns at an accelerated pace compared to those who are so busy guarding their pride that they dare not try, fail, and learn. 11. The sovereignty of versatility, mastery of self as the ultimate control. The Sigma male operates from a paradigm of power that is often misunderstood. He understands a crucial truth that eludes most. Authentic control does not stem from dominating other people, commanding resources, or exerting one's will over external circumstances. True, enduring control is an internal state. It is the result of mastering oneself. He does not crave power in the traditional hierarchical sense. He feels no innate need to lead armies, command a room's attention, or have his directives followed without question. His conception of control is quieter, more profound, and ultimately far more resilient. It is the kind of power that is born from profound versatility. When an individual can competently handle nearly any challenge, obstacle, or opportunity that life presents, he liberates himself from the fear of the unknown. That liberation is his secret weapon. While others build their lives upon a foundation of dependencies, relying on experts to fix their problems, on systems to provide their security, on the approval of others to validate their worth, the Sigma male builds his life upon the only foundation he truly trusts: himself. He has painstakingly constructed a wide and interoperable range of abilities that render him adaptable, resilient, and effective in a vast array of situations. If a physical object breaks, he possesses the knowledge and skill to repair it. If a carefully laid plan collapses, he has the mental flexibility to devise and execute a new one. If the external circumstances of his life shift dramatically, he can adjust his course and recalibrate his actions without losing his internal equilibrium, his center. This degree of self-contained flexibility makes him virtually untouchable by the vagaries of fate. He is never fully at the mercy of the world's volatility because he is prepared for it in silence, building his capabilities while others were building their social media profiles. Conclusion: the unassailable fortress of the self. The underlying philosophy that guides every thought and action of the Sigma male can be distilled into a single, powerful principle. The more you can accomplish for yourself, the less power the external world has to act against you. This is a silent, internal mantra that shapes his entire existence. He is not on a quest for prestigious titles, public applause, or the fleeting validation of the crowd. His entire drive is focused on a single objective: to become so fundamentally capable that he can stand unshaken and self-sufficient on his own 2 feet, regardless of the terrain life places him upon. While others exhaust their time and energy trying to master one single lane, becoming the best accountant, the most renowned artist, the top salesperson, the Sigma male explores all the lanes slowly, methodically, and with deep purpose. His aim is not to impress a spectator. It is to prepare himself for any eventuality. It is critical to understand that being a jack of all trades in the Sigma context is not about being average at a multitude of things. That is a common misinterpretation. For him, it is about achieving a state of being unstoppable when life decides to test his mettle. It is about possessing the multifaceted ability to rebuild yourself, your situation, and your peace of mind when the world inevitably takes something away. This capacity for regeneration is what truly defines a Sigma male and sets him apart. His strength is not the aggressive strength of the tyrant who dominates others. It is the resilient strength of the architect who could design and build anew from scratch. His power is not in his force, but in his boundless adaptability. He can walk directly into chaos and, from within it, discern a hidden order. He can exist in a state of total solitude and still generate meaningful progress. He learns what he needs to learn, not to decorate his ego, but to preserve and expand his freedom. If you recognize these patterns within yourself, if you have always been one who figures things out through direct action, who learns by doing and failing, and doing again, who builds and creates without waiting for an instruction manual or permission slip, then you are not lost, scattered, or undisciplined. You are operating by the code of the Sigma male. You were never designed to fit neatly into one single role, because your mind was engineered to perceive and understand the entire map, not just one road. Therefore, continue your journey without apology. Continue learning. Continue building. Continue expanding the boundaries of your skill set and your mind. The world, with its love for simple labels and predictable paths, may not always understand your vast range. But do not be fooled. A day will come when it will have to rely on the very versatility it failed to comprehend. You do not need to be the loudest voice in the room to be its most capable individual. Your versatility is your quiet power, and your hard-won independence is your ultimate proof of worth. You are not merely surviving the challenges of existence. You are mastering the art of life entirely on your own, self-authored terms. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content about Sigma males, explore the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.